We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. By the time you hear this, it will be Friday morning. But we are doing a TikTok live, and it's going to be an interesting one. We've got some of the usual suspects showing up. And of course, there's always different folks that come up into the comments. And what we do with this live is we try to get as many people up to talk and give their point of view or ask their questions or make their comments. And it's not limited to anybody. It could be anybody. We're fortunate we have moderators like TJ and Rebecca, Trucker T, and some of those other folks that help out with the moderation. And so we don't get a lot of the Trump-la-fucks out here, but every once in a while, if one gets through, I wouldn't be afraid to talk to them. I just don't want to make a habit of debating dumbasses all day and then getting nowhere with these stupid fucks. But we are back on the TikTok Live. We've got TJ the Plumber, we've got Rebecca, and we got Trucker T. How are you all doing?
I'm doing great, Mike.
You're doing fantastic. How about you, Mike?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting over a cold. Rebecca, how you feeling?
Good. Doing good.
Okay. What
Sorry, I was reading.
Sorry about that.
I got to tell you, TJ and Rebecca are married. And if I said to my wife, how you doing? She goes, good. I'd be worried. I'd be real worried because there's more to that. If she ain't talking much, my wife's got something else cooking in her head. So that's all right. You know, I was anxious to get out here to do this because I want to talk to a bunch of folks, but I'm just seeing the endless stupid shit that's going on. You know, Donald Trump comes out and he's talking about how the prices are going down when it's put in his face, how all prices are going up. He used an example that was quickly fact-checked. He was saying, our friends at Walmart says that the price for a Thanksgiving dinner is less than it was last year under Biden's term. The price was less for this packaged Thanksgiving dinner that they're putting out. Well, when it came out, the facts and the information, it shows that last year's turkey dinner from Walmart, that in itself doesn't sound appetizing at all. I don't know why you'd get it from Walmart. There's better places. But anyway, it had 29 different parts to the whole menu.
Right.
And this year's is only 15. So I wonder why it's cheaper. And they were using generic products as opposed to name brand products the first time. But Donald Trump worked so hard to try to sell his shit. And every time he does, he looks stupid in the process. He gets fact checked and he just stands there oblivious like he doesn't know what hit him.
Yeah, well, let's be real. Donald Trump has never fucking even been to a Walmart. I mean, like, come on now.
No.
He doesn't
Well,
have
TJ,
he doesn't even know what Walmart is.
He just learned the word groceries not too long ago.
I know.
Exactly. He just discovered groceries. And the other thing he discovered, you know, after the Democrats beat the shit out of them in the election the other day, everybody was talking about how the Democrats were talking about affordability. So Donald Trump jumped on that train today and he said, yeah, we're going to talk about affordability. No, motherfucker, you did that in the campaign. You said you were going to bring prices down and they didn't come down. It takes more than just your performance or the words you say. You actually have to fucking do something.
Right. Yeah, it's a joke.
Did you see how he was doing something in the Oval Office, and one of the people in the Oval Office just kind of keeled over, passed out, and everybody's running around, and he's standing there playing pocket pool. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. He's just kind of annoyed that this is getting the attention away from him.
Well, how
he
dare
like,
you faint around me?
Yeah.
I don't get that attention.
No.
He looked pissed off that it interrupted, you know, his big moment or whatever he's doing in there. Instead of being worried about the guy,
caused it.
you know, the guy could have a medical emergency, he's having a heart attack or something, and he's not even worried about it at all. He's just looking jacked off because somebody interrupted his thing. You know?
Did you see RFK Jr. TJ run out the room?
No.
He ran out of the room?
Yeah.
I thought he was a Hey, listen, I thought RFK Jr. was a medical guru. What the fuck's going on here?
Sure.
He's the head of Health and Human Services. What better
Right,
guy to have
exactly.
there?
Yeah.
Was he
You know, he
saying
might-
somebody was going to call on him? What?
Yeah.
Hey, is
He-
there a
he
marine
might-
biologist anywhere?
He might have seen some roadkill outside the door of the Oval Office, and he figured he'd pick something up. Chucker T told me about somebody who he wanted to have on the podcast, and he said he's going to be on the live. His name is Skip, so let's call him up here and see what he has to say. Skip, are you there?
I am, yes.
Hi, Skip. How you doing? Trucker T told me about you. Said bring you up and we can talk. What's on your mind today?
I mean, I don't have anything, honestly, anything specific other than mostly sort of a expansion on a lot of the really negative stuff going on. I mean,
Feel free. We talk about anything here.
I know a lot of people are really excited over the Democrats sweep.
Yeah.
What was it now? Yesterday.
Right.
But in reality, you know, it's something that very easily could be viewed as a pressure valve or as a way to sort of suggest that legitimacy still exists here in the United States. And I'm not going to really know that until the next year sometime.
Well, yeah, and I understand that, but at the same time, we can look at these things as maybe a change in the trend or a change in the winds. You know, we've seen that before, where Donald Trump is on something and people are just all on board, and the trend goes that way. We're for the first time seeing some pushback and some fight back from the Democrats, and it seems like the winds have shifted here. I understand, don't get too excited too early, but we've got to accept the positives when they do come.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a moment of sunshine in an otherwise dreary fall, autumn kind of day. But the other thing I wanted to mention, and I'd mentioned it in the comments, I don't know if you saw, but I'm not really surprised in this, but the contractor that tore down a third of the White House is now complaining they never got paid for their labor. I don't know if you're
Imagine
aware
that.
of that. It's kind of a recurring.
Well, I'm
theme.
not surprised.
Right.
But yeah. What do you think about with all that's going on right now? A lot of things are coming together, and Donald Trump's dropping the ball a lot. Like, for example, we've got this SNAP issue. This is a real weird issue to me. The shutdown causes the stoppage of SNAP. It shouldn't have. It didn't in the first term. Then he refuses to send the emergency money. Then the court says, yeah, you got to do it. And then he says, okay, I'll send half. And then he says, I won't. And then a new judge today says, you better do it by tomorrow. And now Donald Trump is talking about appealing this, of course. This is a really weird situation with that SNAP money. And far be it from me to be a conspiracy theorist, but I know people like him. I'm questioning whether the money even exists, because there's been a lot of money spent and we don't know where it came from.
Well, and that's certainly possible. You know, the reallocation of funds, you know, there's a lot of sort of interconnected issues. I've sort of been warning about this for probably about a month at this point, about, you know, essentially SNAP not paying out, because it's not just people starving, right? It's all I mean, that's terrible. I'm not trying to minimize that at all. I'm just also looking at the secondary events from a 30,000-foot perspective, right? Because when people are hungry, they steal from the stores. If they can't steal from a store, they'll steal from their neighbors. If they can't steal from their neighbors, they'll, you know, find other sources of food, which is why today cat and dog food has to be fit for human consumption, because people used to revert to that very thing on a regular basis. And the next actions you're going to start to see, if people don't actually have food to eat, is sort of the stage 2 process where they're doing low level and different types of barter, which doesn't sound terrible, but it suggests the delegitimization of people's trust in the government. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's another aspect of this too that we have to consider is the economic aspect. We're talking about $8 billion a month going into SNAP, as I understand it. That's going to be pulled out of the market. There are going to be grocery chains. There's going to be mom and pop stores that are going to be taking a financial hit, which could in turn cause increases in the prices of the goods coming to us. I mean, we know Walmart's already scared shitless because they get 26% of all SNAP payments, from what I understand, and that amounts to $2 billion a month for them. So this will have a domino effect on a lot of things.
And did you see the announcement that the U.S. Army made about its soldier station in Germany? They took it down.
No.
I wasn't. It was up for about an hour, but they suggested to their now this is active duty because Germany, as I recall, is still considered a combat zone or a combat tour, kind of like South Korea, right?
Okay.
But that's a whole other thing. But my point is, these are active duty service members, right? And they are suggesting, or they did suggest, that the active duty service members, if they don't get paid come November 15th or, before that, that they should go to the German government, their food pantries from the German government and the German organizations.
Wow. That's rather embarrassing for the U.S. military to have to go to a foreign country for aid in that sense. I mean, that has to be an embarrassment for the United States of America. Not surprising Donald Trump is responsible for it.
Well, and I'm also, just as a sort of like an ancillary thing, I'm not denigrating anybody's belief in a higher power. Okay, I'm just going to set that at the outset, right? But one of the ideas behind not taxing the church is, and by church I just mean it could be a synagogue, it could be a mosque. I'm just using that as kind of the general term, right? But by not taxing churches, the presumption was that they would go out and do the good works that the government otherwise would be obligated to do, right? That was kind of the premise behind it, right? And there's a lady on TikTok. I've reposted, I don't know, probably a dozen or so of her videos if you're so inclined. But what she does is she calls various churches and she says, I ran out of baby. If you're familiar with the story, I ran out of baby formula last night. My baby hasn't eaten in about 12 or 18 hours. Can you help me out with some formula? And out of, I believe it was 25 or 30 churches, I don't remember exactly how many, but it was definitely 20, I think closer to the 25 number. There was a synagogue, there was a mosque that helped her, not a synagogue, a mosque that helped her, and 2 African-American Baptist churches. That's it. And all they said is, what kind of formula? How far away are you? When do you think you're going to get here? And that's pretty much it. They didn't ask if she was a member. They didn't ask her name. Except towards the end when they're like, okay, great, tell us your name and we'll set it aside for you. But, they didn't ask any of because even the first one was the LDS church. And they were like, well, we're really more of a management office and, well, are you a member and all this kind of, sidestepping the obligation, right? It's pretty sad.
It is pretty sad, and I've been one. I'm technically a Christian. I don't believe in organized religion. My experience with organized religion, and that's just my experience, has been it's all about money, not about what they're actually teaching. So I just avoid them. I'm not surprised they didn't get the help, and it's frustrating. And if these people aren't in a position to help the needy or people in need, they shouldn't get a tax break. If they get involved in politics with opinions or whatever, they shouldn't get a tax break. These people should have to prove their validity in getting the tax break, as opposed to just saying, I got a church, give me a tax cut. Fuck, I could start a church.
Oh yeah, no, it's I have said this a number of times over the last couple of years, but if you obligated, and obviously there's some nuance there. I'm not saying like you would obligate a church with like 20 members, but if you obligated any reasonably financed church or house of worship or organization to feed one person, one homeless person in America, we would run out of homeless people before we ran out of churches. And that's pretty sad to me.
Yeah, it's very sad, but it's religion's a lot like politics and government. We theoretically know what they're supposed to do. We theoretically know they're supposed to be serving the people in their congregation or in their constituency. But the funny thing is they don't. They only serve themselves. We see that in Congress. They're getting their pockets filled with money to appeal to those wealthy folks at the detriment of their constituents. And the same goes for religions. They're quick to throw around the collection plate, but when it comes to actually doing some good, they seem to be more reticent about it. And that is annoying. That's a problem that we have in this country on both sides that needs to be fixed, but we need people to stand up and push back. Otherwise, it's never going to change.
Yeah, there's unfortunately there's a few people I keep trying to encourage to plan ahead for what's sort of in the pipeline as it were, and I will say I just want to remind you, and I guess everybody else, just remember that things can and will get worse. It's going to take a lot of unfortunate suffering for people to sort of change the direction that we're headed.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, if I base it on what I know about narcissists, and I'm talking about Donald Trump, as they get more painted in a corner and there's fewer options for them to divert, distract, or spin off, then they start flailing more and more, and it just gets wild after a time. And if we're waiting for Donald Trump to fall or go by the wayside, you're absolutely right. It's going to get uglier and it's going to get nastier before it gets better. It's almost like, it's an inevitability, and we're going to have to go through it. So we might as well prepare ourselves.
Yeah. No, it's there's a lot to be said for learning the not only the forgotten skills but the forgotten habits, right? I think one of the points that I often will try to make is look at what people did in 1935 to make ends meet until during in the height of the Great Depression, essentially. You look at the recipes, you look at what they did to earn a couple of bucks, you look at how they failed and all the rest. It's history doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes.
Do you think us going through all this terrible shit that we either have gone through or will go through will help make it easier when we're through the end of the tunnel here to get more of the progressive attitudes like universal health and whatever? Once people go through these trials and tribulations, might there be more of a stomach for doing those sorts of things as opposed to what it's been like up until Donald Trump?
So, and I'm trying to sort of, I guess I would say, caution my language as I say this, right? But in my experience, now, I mean, granted, I'm only 42, but I've been around the block and I've been a few places and I've met a few people, and I know a little bit about a little bit, and from my experience, from everything that I know, when people experience a traumatic event, okay, whatever the cause of that trauma is, whether it be their family, an external force, their own doing, doesn't really matter, right? Whenever somebody experiences a traumatic event that's traumatic to them, really there's one of three things, but for discussion's sake, we'll just say one of two things happen. Their empathy either expands or it collapses like a dying star. Yeah. And unfortunately, and I can only base this on the conversations that I've had more specifically with people that are ardent supporters of Trump. If you're able to get through the automatic walls or barriers that they put up, right, and you're able to actually connect to the person, oftentimes you'll find that they did in fact have something bad happen to them, and it's the result of like so many other things, the result of a lack of mental health or actual health care. It's and I mean, it doesn't matter your political affiliation. I'm simply highlighting that people that have more empathy tend to go one direction, and people without it tend to go another.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
I wish it was. I wish that I had hope that things would end positively or would evolve positively, but if you look at sort of the history of humanity, and I don't mean just in the last couple hundred years, I mean the last 300,000 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Humans have never really changed or evolved until things have gotten really bad, or they're forced to by the world at large. That's it. That's
Agreed.
The only thing that makes us change. I wish it wasn't, but that's kind of where we are.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Skip, I know Trucker's talked about you coming on the podcast with Trucker. By all means, set that up and we can talk further. Sure. I'd look forward to that. I'm going to let you go here because I got to get a bunch more people up. But thank you for coming on, Skip. I appreciate it immensely. And Trucker, you're right. You were right about Skip, Trucker. Thank you.
What did he say about me?
He said you were an asshole.
Okay, that's fair enough. I hear that. I hear that all the time.
No, he was very complimentary of you, and I appreciate the heads up and the tip. But Skip, let's get together on the podcast with Trucker, and we'll talk some more. I look forward to it.
Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right,
like
thank you,
Mike,
Trucker.
I got to surround myself with people smarter than me. I tell you that.
I do it too. I have to do it too. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. Looks like a young woman named Sammy White. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm good. How are you?
So far, so good.
Do I need to introduce myself?
Well, you're Sammy. You don't have to tell us your life story unless you want to, but this is the internet, so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're thinking about.
Oh gosh, what isn't there not to think about? This orange orangutan dictator in office. I mean, it just amazes me how people did not see it from the beginning. I mean, we had to deal with him his last term. I mean, and we already knew what he was all about. But they still voted for him after he stated that he was going to be a dictator the first day.
Right.
And it's just like, it just seems like everything that he just did his first 11 months, it's been on,
about 10 months.
Yeah,
about 10 months.
All the executive orders, and now this SNAP, EBT, it is just ridiculous. Like, first he was like, nothing. And then he stated that he was going to send partial. Then he stated that he was not going to send it. Now the courts are what I seen today, that the judge told him that he had to send the full amounts, and he's still refusing. Now he appeals it. I mean, like,
he's
now
appeal
families are going to suffer even longer. I'm one of them that's going to be affected. And
wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I've been on disability for 10 years. I've worked up to 10 years ago, and I worked hard jobs, like men jobs, construction, and messed up my back. Now there are days that I can hardly walk everything. You know, I can't even get the medical attention I need because Medicaid will not cover certain things my doctor want to give me. But
Right.
it's just, you know, this big, beautiful bill that these Trump voters think is going to do justice. I mean, I don't know what they're reading because what I read, Medicaid and Medicare is going to be cut. I mean, so elderly people that don't work are going to suffer and more likely unalive because they can't get the medical attention. Disabled people are going to suffer, you know, and I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Well, it's the whole thing with it Donald Trump is doing is pretty draconian. And for anybody out there, whether you're Republican or Democrats, if you have a problem with people that get SNAP benefits not getting it, it is all Donald Trump and the Republicans' fault. The Democrats are doing what they can. The courts are doing what they can. Donald Trump and the Republicans are doing everything they can to push the goalposts back, to delay it, so those people don't get the funding. I got to tell you, what they're doing here is horrific, and there will be accountability for it. But in the process, people are going to suffer, and that fucking pisses me off.
It extremely pisses me off. But I just don't understand how he can get away with this. It's like, it's inhumane what he's doing.
Well, I can tell you how he gets away with it. I can tell you absolutely how he gets away with it. There is no accountability. You've got Donald Trump in the White House. You got Pam Bondi in the DOJ. You've got the Supreme Court that's complicit with Donald Trump. There is no accountability. If a normal president would do this and you had a DOJ that was kind of separate from the White House, they would call him out on it. They would push back. Or Republican members of Congress would say, this is terrible. We're going to push back. But everybody bends a knee to Donald Trump. And this is why he gets away with it. This is why it's so important to get everybody else out, including Donald Trump, because as long as we have people that are going to be complicit and sycophants to Donald Trump, this is going to continue.
But we've already tried to impeach him, how many? Like 2 or 3 times now? And nothing happens.
Well,
He's still there.
the way it works, he gets impeached by the House. He's been impeached twice. Then it goes to the Senate, and they need 67 votes to convict him and kick him out. The Republicans in both situations saved Donald Trump when they could have gotten rid of him. So again, the reason why Donald Trump is unaccountable to anything is because of the Republican Party. And people really need to remember that. I think they did in this last election when they got their asses whipped so badly. But it's the Republicans in Congress that could stop this right now, and they choose not to. So people need to remember that.
What scares me the most is, like, you know, I know the Democrats, and I'm happy that they done it. I was a little upset because I felt like they kind of like, what's the word I can think? Like they did not fight as hard as they could have, and they kind of let us Democrats down a little bit. But now I'm happy that they stood their ground. They're not negotiating. And what worries me is he also has stated numerous times that he will not give EBT until the Democrats negotiate. And that makes me scared for myself and for many others that rely on food share. You know,
He's basically using coercion, and that's typical of a bully, typical of a thug, typical of a criminal. The thing about it is Donald Trump may want to do one thing, but after the Republicans saw what happened during that election night, they're getting nervous. They're getting nervous because they know they're all going to lose their jobs. Not one Republican won in that election period, those special elections, and that sent a message. So there's going to be kind of a rift between the Republicans in Congress and Donald Trump. It's already started. Donald Trump wants them to get rid of the filibuster, and the Republicans refuse to do it. There's going to be some bumping of heads between the Republicans in Congress and Donald Trump, and that may be the first step to finally breaking this shit down and finding some space to at least get out of this shit.
how long do you think it's going to take, though? Because people don't have that long. Like, if they only rely, like, there's like myself, I'm on a set income, and I live off of that to support a 17-year-old boy that eats me out of home, and like it's impossible. Like, I mean, that's what I rely on, my food share.
My gut tells me that we're getting closer to getting this cleared up. Somebody's going to have to bend. It's going to have to be the Republicans. There'll have to be some kind of thing worked out. Mike Johnson will have to bring the people back into the House of Representatives, and that starts a whole nother thing. But I'm curious, Trucker, TJ, Rebecca, you have some thoughts as to how long this will go? Is this going to be extended, or are we getting toward the point where it's too much pressure on the Republicans? Go ahead, Trucker.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut TJ off. Yeah, I think it's going to end here pretty quick. And the reason why I say that is because Mike Johnson and Thune are fighting, right? So you've got this macho thing going, right? Where they're talking about they want to bring it to the vote. Johnson says we're not going to bring it to the vote. But then you got other senators and congressmen out there saying, hey, we'll have this thing done by the end of this week. Which, I mean, I doubt if it happens by the end of the week, but they know that Trump is a lame duck president, right? And they saw exactly what happened over the weekend, and they're running scared, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like that video I sent you with Steve Bannon, right? These guys know that their time is up, and we're going to see something big happen over the weekend, I guarantee you.
I pray to
I think
God.
so too. Well, TJ, let me ask you this. TJ. One of the things that I think is going to put pressure on Donald Trump is that if he gets pushed hard in an appeal, a quick decision, and he's got to pay the money from SNAP and the money doesn't exist, that's going to cause him to cave a little bit and ease up on this thing, don't you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with that because, DHS is spending $9 million a day on ICE. Where's this money coming from? They ran out of their budget back in July. Where are they robbing this money from to pay all this money, $9 million a day? So, I wouldn't be surprised if that. I agree with you, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I agree with you with the fact that that money may not be there, and that's why Donald Trump's fighting so hard not to do that. That's why he's begging for an appeal because they're going to find out that the money doesn't exist,
Oh, wow.
and there's nowhere else to take it from. And furthermore,
But if
Go
they
ahead.
open up the government, they don't need the
Yes.
emergency funding. Then it will
Yes.
just get paid. He'll be able to cover up that embarrassment if, in fact, that's an embarrassment.
right, and here's the other thing that I'm going to expand on a little bit further is that this week, Mike Johnson and John Thune and a few other of the Republicans tried so hard. They tried, they kept saying it over and over and over, that this is the Democrat shutdown. This is the Schumer shutdown. They pounded that message over and over, thinking that, the American people are stupid enough to believe that, right?
Right,
And
right.
Tuesday showed them that the American people aren't that stupid. So now they're standing there with their least impressive appendage in their hand because
Yeah.
they just got their ass kicked. Now, I this is my prediction. In the near future, and I don't want to say this week, maybe next week or whatever. Now they're going to be more amicable about negotiating about this funding for the tax incentive or the tax credits for ACA. I have a feeling that they're going to come crawling back and say, okay, hey, we'll make a deal.
But here's the one catch. All that makes sense, and I agree with you completely. And I think that's probably how it's going to play out. But here's the one catch, and this is how they painted themselves in a corner. In order to do that, they're going to have to bring the Republicans back in the House of Representatives and open it up. They're going to have to swear in Grijalva, so they're going to get the 218 votes. So in order to get this thing done, they're going to have to go through that swearing in and opening up the House. So he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. That's the only thing
Right.
that I could think that it might confuse it.
Yeah, and I think that's what John Thune and Mike Johnson are fighting about right now. But it's regardless of the government being closed or not, it's the inevitable.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson is delaying the inevitable. So
Right.
they might as well just let it happen and let the discharge petition get signed. It'll go to a vote on the floor. It's going to pass the House, and then John Thune and his thugs over there can crash it in the Senate, and then it'll all be on record for the entire country to see who voted against releasing the Epstein files.
Exactly.
Because we know damn well that even if it passed the Senate, Donald Trump's never signing it. Let's be real about that. So
No, the whole point of this isn't releasing the files. The files aren't going to get released when this woman signs the 218 thing. All it does, it forces these people to pick a side. I either decide not to release the files and piss off your constituents, or decide to release the files and piss off Donald Trump. Again, they're between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, they're fucked, and that was actually a pretty brilliant strategy by the Democrats, because they know that it's never going to get all the way to the finish line. They just want it on record to see how everyone votes, so they can take it back to Americans and say, "Here's the people who are covering it for Jeffrey Epstein. Make your own conclusions about it." Because you know damn well that they're voting to protect Donald Trump, and that's the only fucking reason.
Yeah.
And the MAGAs.
My thoughts of the e-files is that even if they did come out, and we all know Trump's in them, nothing's going to happen with that either. I mean, he gets away with so much.
Well, it depends.
It
depends.
That nothing happened.
It depends, Sammy. Once this is all said and done, if Donald Trump's no longer in power, I think there's going to be a lot of things coming out about Donald Trump, including the Epstein files. I don't know that he lives long enough to actually be held accountable, but there's going to be a lot of shit flying, and there are going to be people that will be held accountable in this situation when the files do get released. I just don't think the files will get released until after Donald Trump's out of power.
And then, to keep it 100, I don't even think he's going to make it the next 3 years.
Fingers crossed.
That's what I'm thinking. But then you know what? Even if he don't, I'm worried about J.D. Vance, man, because he's no good.
No, don't worry. Don't worry about J.D. Vance. He's a weak ass bitch. He's not very sharp, and he won't be good, but he won't be nearly the problem Donald Trump is. I promise you that. Sammy, thank you for coming on. Please come back next time. I'm going to be doing more live, so jump on any time and keep us up to date with how you're doing with this whole situation with the snap shit and stuff.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
With the Epstein files, though, it's not just about Donald Trump himself being in them. It's about all the more powerful people that he's scared of.
Well, the MAGAs are going to lose their shit because they've been told for years that it's all Democrats in there. That's why they're all pissed off that it's not getting released.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of really powerful world leaders that it's going to be a huge issue for Donald Trump.
Well, and there's all this talk about even deeper things involved. There was $1.5 billion involved, and there was a lot of world leaders like Prince Andrew and all this stuff. There's more to the story than just the abuse that was committed. So I think Donald Trump isn't the only one putting pressure on Congress not to release it. There's a lot of rich and powerful men that are doing it too, and it's going to cause quite a shitstorm if in fact they ever get released. All right, let's see who else is out there.
There was a guy in here that's running for office that sounded like
really?
Great to bring up. I don't know if he requested or not. His name was Salam something.
Salam. All right, we've got Uncle John up. Uncle John, how you doing? What's on your mind?
That's why I just wanted to. That's why the government is locked down, because of the e-files.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. That's the main
no
thing.
Matter
That's
what he
why.
does.
That's why Mike Johnson took a 6-week vacation for the House of Representatives. This is why, he said, we cut our deal, we passed it. Now the Senate's got to just accept what we do, and that's just not the way these negotiations go. It goes back and forth between the Senate and the House. The Epstein files are certainly at the core of why we're having these difficulties right now.
And it's huge. The Epstein thing is very, very huge.
When do you think they'll get released, and when do you think that'll happen?
I would like to see it happen, but I don't, like you. I don't think Trump will be around. We'll be lucky if he wakes up tomorrow, but
he'll be lucky. I'll be lucky if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Mike,
But,
did you see that Senator Kennedy? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Uncle John.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Senator Kennedy is going to propose 2 bills tomorrow, both meaning if there's a shutdown, Congress doesn't get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got one that talks to the 27th Amendment and one that doesn't. So he's hitting it from both angles, and they are pissed.
Wow. And this is part and parcel to people slowly kind of separating themselves from Donald Trump. You're going to see a lot of Republicans doing that now, kind of putting a little separation between them, maybe even walking away completely. We're seeing it a little bit in the Senate. But Donald Trump is at his weakest moment since ever being president, and things aren't going well for him. And you can see it on his face when he was sitting in his chair in the Oval Office today. He was sleeping for a part of the time. His face is drooping. He seems weak. He seems incoherent. This guy's in trouble in so many ways, both politically and physically, and certainly mentally.
Yeah.
We can't expect this guy to go on too much longer.
No, I look at this, Mike, as a roller coaster ride, right? So you wait in line for hours and hours because you want to get on the big ride. And when you get on that ride, you're just thrilled. You're screaming, you're yelling. Everybody's happy. And then when you get off of it, you're sick as a dog. You don't want to do it again, right? And that's what's happening now. We're at the point now where we're in the middle of this roller coaster. And once it hits the ground, it's over. I think a lot of people will wake up and see what's going on. Also, I'm a little partial right now. There's a young lady in the audience. I keep asking to request up, but for some reason, I don't know if she did or not. But she's got some good.
What's her name?
I think it.
What's her name?
It said Adri Bush.
I'm trying to see here. No, I'm not seeing her yet. But we're gonna pull more people up. John dropped off. Let's. British John is already here. It's a little early, British. Let's see here. It's a little early. Okay, we're going to pull up Dwizzle. I love the names of these people. I don't know where they come from, but I like them because they're creative. Dwizzle, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you for bringing me up. I just had a question for you. There's a special election in the 7th District of Tennessee on December the 2nd on the Republican side. If he wins that election, it will give the Republicans 219. So if Jehovah is sworn in, it won't matter because they need 219 now if he wins that special election. Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. And, it's Tennessee. I'm talking to Ed tomorrow, who lives in Tennessee, and he tells me it's just rampantly red. So the likelihood of a Democrat winning that is slim to none. No, I didn't know about that. That's an interesting thing to consider. I got to believe. But you know what, Dwizzle?
Yeah, this is
but even if he does get elected,
it's the second.
Second? But here's the deal, Dwizzle. In order for that to count, he's got to swear them in too. So if he's going to swear them in, he's going to have to swear her in. And I don't know. I mean, the whole thing with the discharge petition, hopefully this will get done before December 2nd. These people have to be getting some things done. And if they don't have the House in session by December 2nd, that means we've got another month of a shutdown. And I just find that hard to believe that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I just think that MAGA Mike is waiting for December the 2nd to happen so he can go ahead and swear in Jehovah, and then Matt Van there, and it'll be 218 to 219. So they still can't release the files because they need 219. That was my whole thing.
Twizzle, I want you to think about something though. The whole point of this is whether or not people are going to vote for it or vote against it. They may end up being, with the way things are going with the Republican Party, they may be able to get another Republican on board to do this. I mean, the Republicans are scared to death to be the one guy to make it happen, but things are going so badly for the Republicans that you might get another Republican in. I just don't think that shutdown's going to go another month. I don't think anybody can tolerate that, whether it be Congress or the people of this country. There's going to be something big happen between now and then if the government doesn't open up.
Well, isn't the Congress going to be let out for Thanksgiving holidays anyway within a week?
Well, that could be, but you have to understand, even if this guy gets elected in Tennessee, he won't take office till the end of January. So now we're not talking about December. We're talking about the end of January. Now we're talking a month and a half, 2 months before that has an effect. They're going to have to act before that. It's just not going to be tenable. It's going to be untenable if they don't.
Well, MAGA Mike, he doesn't wait when Republicans get elected. He don't wait like weeks and weeks and weeks. It's usually within a week, and he brings them on board. So you know how he is.
I know how he is, but if he does swear him in, he's going to have to swear the other one in. And like I say, if the guy wins the election and he doesn't get sworn in till like the 20th of January, that's a long time away. We're talking a month and a half from now. So I don't know. We can look at all the bad things that could happen. We just have to keep pushing forward and grab the positives and just keep fighting and hope that we ultimately win and things are going our way right now. So that's good.
Yeah, it's just something to keep an eye out for. Now that we're talking about it, just watch what happens. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I have Ed on tomorrow, and I'm going to talk to him about that tomorrow on the podcast. So we will look into it. And Dwizzle, I'm going to let you go because we've got some other people. But by all means, come on back and keep us updated.
I sure will. And thanks for having me up. Y'all have a nice evening. Can you go ahead and drop me, Boomer?
I can. Thank you very much. The one thing about Dwizzle, he's a lot like a lot of other people, and they really look for all the negative shit to happen. They're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I think that's the wrong attitude to have. And I'm not talking shit about Dwizzle here. I understand his point, and he makes a good point. I didn't know about this other special election in December. That does throw a monkey wrench into it if this whole thing extends as long as they're suggesting. But we're on a roll right now. We got to keep the positive. We got to keep the aggressive outlook, and we got to keep punching away on this thing. All right, let's pull somebody else up here. Who do we got? Okay, we'll go to Mother Trucker. We had her on recently. We have Trucker T, and we have Mother Trucker, and she's not coming up. So maybe she dropped off at the last minute. We'll get somebody else's. Okay, from Mother Trucker to Oliver's mom is coming up. We know she has something to say. Oliver's mom, hey, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah, I just researched it. There is a special election for Tennessee for their 7th congressional district. It doesn't say anything about nominees or anything, but yeah, there is one out there.
Really?
So yes, there is, and it's December 2nd. for the 7th district in Tennessee. Yeah, so that just confirms what the previous gentleman was saying. It is out there. Just a
Well,
quick,
Oliver's.
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say something, Oliver's mom. Okay, so now this guy gets elected, and that changes the parameters as far as what the majority is in the House to 219. But doesn't Grijalva being elected and coming in while her dad had passed away or something, doesn't that add a point to our side too and maybe even it out?
I would think so.
I would think so
I'm not sure
too.
I'm not sure exactly where the numbers are, but that would make sense. You know, I just don't think people are looking at this particular special election right now and seeing anything. But yeah, it's definitely there. I'm trying to look and see when they said he would take office, the person would take office once they're elected.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
really say. I'll have to do research a little bit more. But yeah, you would
Okay.
think so. I mean, if we're adding one here and adding one there, yeah, it should even it out.
Well, Dwizzle is saying no, she's 218. Yeah, I understand that. She'd be the 218th signature. But if we're talking about a new person coming on where there wasn't somebody there, that has an effect, of course. But she's also coming in where she wouldn't have the. I mean, it's too confusing. We'll wait and see what happens.
Exactly.
I'm not going to pretend to act like I know what I'm talking about. Oliver's mom, go ahead. You had some other stuff.
Just some of the things that Skip was talking about. We're talking about people with money and churches and stuff. I don't know if anybody realizes, but the Catholic Church has more wealth than most countries out there.
Oh, absolutely.
They have more wealth than most countries out there. And the Vatican alone, Vatican City and the Vatican alone, has a wealth of anywhere from 10 to 20 billion dollars in wealth just in the Vatican and Vatican City.
Right.
They're talking about possibly the Catholic Church having anywhere from tens of billions to over $250 billion in wealth. And we're talking not just money, we're talking about art and artifacts and
Yeah, absolutely. I've known people that have gone to Vatican
they earn
City.
quite a bit of money. And
Well, absolutely. And I've had people go to Vatican City and kind of be appalled by the, I don't want to say gaudiness, but the amount of money that is involved here when we know there are Catholic people in this country and other countries around the world that are starving. That is kind
yes,
of
exactly.
that's kind of sketchy.
Yes. And then the other thing that came to mind today was Elon Musk was just given by his shareholders a $1 trillion payoff.
They
How do
went
you-
through with it.
Mostly in stock, from what
They
I
did.
understand. I haven't seen a whole lot of it, but it's going to make him the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah. And I
mean,
don't
he-
understand how they did that after he destroyed the company. Why
Yeah, I
would,
know,
what are you
and
giving
he
him money for?
Exactly, and he could take that money. He already can take the money he has and take care of Snap over and over for 10 years or more without even blinking an eye. And and they're going to give this fool more money. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And to be honest with you, if you look at Snap, as I understand it, it cost $8 billion a month. With that $1 trillion and whatever else he has, he could go on a redemption campaign and pay the
Exactly.
next 3 months of Snap and maybe get some good PR for once.
Yeah, exactly.
He won't, though. He
Yeah,
won't,
and
though.
we're talking about SNAP and food banks and all this kind of stuff. Trump and the administration just put out something comparing last year's Thanksgiving costs to this year's Thanksgiving costs. But the
Yeah, we
problem
talked
is
about that.
yeah, they're not doing apples to apples, so
No.
it's not valid. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and it doesn't make any sense to anybody who walks in a grocery store and sees the prices are up. Donald Trump can say whatever the fuck he wants and say that they are down, but they are not. They are higher than they were when he came in. So, I mean, it's
Yes.
just silly. I don't understand what he hopes to accomplish by saying all these ridiculous things when people are experiencing it as they live. I mean, I'll just say again, have the farmers got their bailout yet? Nope. Have the military gotten paid yet? Nope.
Nope.
He makes a lot of promises, never comes through.
Yeah, we're putting too much money, or he's putting too much money right now into non-American interests when he's supposed to be the America First president. And that's ridiculous. I mean, money to bail out this country and money to support a war in that country. And I mean, he's got people here starving. I mean, even if you go back to like USAID, cutting that takes people in other countries around the world and puts them into food insufficiency and problems with having the right amount of food to have everything. So he's not just hurting us, he's hurting the world with his policies when it comes to food insufficiency and people not having enough food to put in their bellies and children, dying because they don't have food. I mean, it's like another guest said, humanity. He has no humanity when it comes to things like this.
Well, he's like any other sociopath or narcissist. He has no empathy or concern for anybody else. It's about him. A perfect example is somebody passes out in the Oval Office and he stands there with his thumb up his ass like a dipshit and doesn't seem to have a bit of emotion. If that doesn't
Oh,
show you who he is, I don't know what the fuck does.
right. And to go along with that, Barack Obama gave a speech the other day, and he had someone in his audience that had a medical situation, and he was right on top of it and trying to get somebody over to them to help them out. And that just shows the difference between the two different types of people, the two different individuals.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So right
Um,
before we came on live,
mhm.
my daughter asked me, and that's who I was talking about, Mike. Her name is Adri Bush in the comments. She
Oh,
she
okay.
she asked me that how do we stop this? Right? How do we make this go away? And how long will it take? So listen to Oliver's mom, Skip, and you guys. She's 19 and she's concerned. She's like, hey,
I,
how can he get away with all of this? What do we do? So can we talk about that?
well, like I told, I don't know who I was talking to. The problem is there's no accountability. The government is broken. The people that would hold him or anybody else accountable is co-opted by Donald Trump. I'm talking about the DOJ and Pam Bondi. Talking about the Supreme Court. It's this guy has been able to run wild and do whatever he wants. There's one group of people that can stop him. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again, and. The one group of people that could stop him are the Republicans in Congress. So it's going to take the Republicans in Congress to get their ass kicked more and more like they recently have for them to finally step away and do something to stop him. That's how it gets stopped. The Republicans in Congress. And then when it comes to the elections, remember who allowed this to happen? All Republicans in Congress, because they always vote for Donald Trump, whether they act like the good guys or the bad guys or the in the middle guys. They all voted for him. They all supported him. They're all culpable for the situation.
I mean, we've got Congress getting ready to go out on a recess soon. Like the previous guest said, that they're going out on a recess for the holidays. And I
Right.
mean, just picture that. We've got them going out on a recess, and they're going to be paid. And we've got government workers that are being forced to work without pay.
Right.
I mean, that's just a sad thing to look at. I mean, we need to be paying the military. We need to be paying the air traffic controllers. We need to be paying these essential people and getting them their money so that they can live and don't have to take Uber jobs and night
Right.
stocking jobs and all the other jobs that they're attempting to take while they're still doing their current job so that they
Can,
can
Yeah.
put food on their table.
can,
And
can I make
Congress,
a
go
go
ahead.
ahead?
Well,
I just wanted to
Congress can take a
go.
recess and get paid.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a quick comment about that. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks, and Thanksgiving, of course, is coming up. And so I'm the president of a building trades council here, and every year we make a donation to the food bank here, and it's a pretty nice donation. This year we doubled our donation because we don't know what's going to happen. So we wanted to make sure that the food bank had extra money this year in case there's all these people who just can't eat. So I guess my point is that if you have the ability to give something to your food bank, please do, because there's a lot of people that are going to go hungry if this continues to go on, particularly for Thanksgiving. So if you have something you can give, even if it's like $5, just, give what you can to help these people because they're going to be in dire straits. So that's all I have to say about it.
Absolutely. I think that's good advice. We have to do what the government refuses to do. And make no mistake, they're refusing to do it. They're in the powers to do it. They could do it. The Republicans have chosen to allow people to starve. And that's fucking unacceptable at this point. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. We got Liam.
God
I knew this would come. Liam Happ. Hey, Liam, how you doing? We need a little comic relief, and we know how well you get along with your brother TJ. So flail away.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Plummer. Trucker
Hey,
T,
what's
how
up
are you?
there?
Hello,
What's
brother-in-law.
up there? What's up there, blood booger?
I just had major nasal surgery, so I'll probably keep it kind of tame. Yeah, I can breathe though, which is wonderful. You should have seen all the cool stuff they took out, but I'll spare you that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. What I'd like to say is it would have been nice to see Diaper Don on the floor in the Oval Office instead, huh?
Yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, when I heard somebody went down to the Oval Office, I go, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I find out some rando guy that just fell down because he's on Ozempic. I'm going, fuck.
It was a big, yeah, Diaper Don goes down. Where's the defibrillator? It was in the Lincoln bathroom before it was renovated. Oh, shit, it's been covered over with marble now. Damn.
I was
no
kind of
kidding.
thinking that the reason somebody went down was because of his diaper.
Yeah, that's what I told TJ. They were overcome by the smell.
Toxic shock or something.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple things. Like, I saw this Trump-la-fuck in the supermarket today. Typical old white guy, with his sleeveless shirt and his Trumpy hat on and all this other shit. And I cannot reiterate enough that this average Trump-la-fuck Joe, like my bio mom, for example, they don't care about anything other than the fact that he's harming like people of color, people of alternate lifestyles and whatnot. They don't give a shit about anything else that he does. It's just hatred and bigotry in that crowd. That's it. That's why they won't change their mind. That's why they still have their flag up. And this guy's rocking his hat in the supermarket. They're not going to change. They don't pay attention to anything else that's going on. They're ignorant to all of it, except their ears perk up when they hear some soft cocks went in and to a soft target and arrested some preschool teacher that was legally allowed to be here, for example.
Liam, you were involved in aviation, right? Or in the aviation business, correct?
I am.
Okay. Tell me what happens when they cancel 10% of the flights across the board, allegedly on Friday.
You know what? There's so much to that. You have no idea how the trickle down effect of all that is. I mean, it's the money that goes around in this business. Like, people have no clue. Like, just for an airplane, like the jet bridge, the jetway that we use to board the flights.
Right.
Those are $10,000 a month. They're usually, wrapped up in a contract or whatnot. But think of not just humans being, inconvenienced. Go all the way down to you have less airplanes touching down, which create a landing fee every time they hit the runway. So you cancel 10% of flights, then these airports, their economic situation goes to shit because they're not getting their landing fees out of these flights that are gone now. It goes all the way down to like air cargo. We push, millions of dollars of freight every year, and it's the economic impact is huge.
Well, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, said that it could be a lot of chaos caused. My wife works as a customer service part-time, a retirement job with an airline, and it can get chaotic as it is without this kind of cut.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sean Duffy was on Road Rules, so I got to believe what he's telling me. He knows about transportation.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the chaotic aspect of it? I mean, it's going to put a lot of people out going into a holiday season. This is going to cause a lot of anger in our airports.
Oh, yeah. People are always angry as soon as they walk in, they're angry all the time anyway.
No, I've heard the stories from my wife.
Yeah, it's just gonna compound it, and it's just you see what happened in Houston with the TSA at both airports. They walked out.
Well, they just walk out?
I guess they walked out. I caught bits and pieces of it, and it was just chaos. Just nobody was being let through or anything for hours, and people were stacked up all the way outside, and it's. Of course, I have to agree with TJ. It's kind of, he was like, good, let it happen, and I see his point,
Well, we've always said that unfortunately there are so many dumb people in this country, at least 49% of the country that voted for Donald Trump. It's almost as if we have to have a catastrophe before some dumb fucks wake up.
Yeah. And
it's sad.
That's the other thing I'm worried about is a catastrophe. If you have less TSA people screening bags, or, I mean, in the old days we had to worry about shit. Okay, like the domestic luggage was never screened; only international luggage was screened. We had a flight one time where somebody had packed a pistol in their bag and the gun went off. We had this guy Ed was unloading the plane and the gun went off and it shot up into the cabin and went out between two windows. And they put a patch over it, and we always called it Ed's plane. But in the old days, we had to fear that stuff. Like the next bag you loaded in the cargo bin might kill you. And then 9/11 event happened, and everything got really tight. Because like I was going to say, only the international bags were X-rayed and screened back then. And now it's gotten really really safe after the 9/11 event. But with all this pandemonium going on, who knows what might slip through now.
Yeah, that's it's one thing to have an economic crisis. That's bad enough, but we're in a bad position in many ways. Terroristic threats through planes. Hell, we have no national security anymore. No. We have a clown running the Defense Department. If there was a time to find our country at its weakest, it would be now, unfortunately.
Well, we're like sitting ducks now.
It does tend to feel like that.
Liam, I have a question.
Yes.
I mean, do we have a lot of maintenance people maybe doing some solidarity things and doing some sick outs and all going along with the FAA, the traffic controllers and the TSA people?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I would hope that something like that would happen. One thing I just heard of was somebody delivering food to one of the like the control tower in Las Vegas or somewhere. I can't remember where it was. Somebody like delivering food donations, and I have a friend who's an air traffic controller in Texas, and he was ranting on Facebook the other night about having to go to the food bank for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
And and then it got me.
Yeah, we just had that big crash in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, that was unrelated to like anything going on now.
But you just say that, and that they're looking back at the maintenance on that vehicle, on that plane. If we have solidarity things starting to go on, and then we have maintenance issues with planes and all that, that can cause a problem too, as well as the security issues that are being caused and the safety issues that are being caused by the air traffic controllers.
I hate
So-
to be. I hate. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was serviced by a non-union
Thank you.
mechanic contractor.
Okay.
That's what I was just going to say. I was going to say I hate to be shitty, but it's one of those companies that farm out a lot of stuff to like just non-union third-party maintenance,
Okay.
and I've always frowned on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that. Who knows? That's like Alaska Airlines flight 261 back in 1999 or 2000, where they were using shitty contract maintenance and they weren't oiling the jack screw up on the horizontal stabilizer on the tail, and the plane was coming back from Puerto Vallarta to San Francisco, and the thing broke because it wasn't oiled, and the plane went upside down and spiraled into the sea near LA. And now Alaska Airlines, they learned their lesson. They have they're from what I understand, they're pretty tip top now on all that, and they don't use those crappy
Yeah, 'cause that whole
non-union.
situation, that whole situation could have been a whole lot worse if that had gone into like a shopping district
Oh yeah,
or a residential area or something like that.
oh yeah.
And I haven't really seen a
Right.
whole lot about UPS stock being affected by it.
Oh, I bet you it won't be.
Yeah,
I know the
Yeah.
UPS stores were affected by it today.
yeah. But I can see them paying out a lot of money to compensate for what's happened there.
Yeah, that's always the case too.
You
Hey,
want to
Kim.
you want to
About them paying that money out.
Hmm.
Okay, I've worked for UPS for 10 years. They have a contingency fund.
Yeah. Yes.
So it doesn't affect their bottom line at all. Each
Okay.
year they put money into that fund because they know something like this could happen, something this
Okay.
catastrophic, and they just pull it right out of there and they just keep chugging along.
Okay. All
Wow.
right. That makes sense.
you want to see the government shutdown fixed and quick, big, and in a hurry? Have all the air traffic controllers walk off the job in one day. It'll be fixed the next day.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
and
still,
don't be
I
s-
still wouldn't. I'm sorry, I still wouldn't sacrifice the health care of 13 million people for the airline industry. I'm sorry,
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
but I know
is
what you're saying.
that they'll come to the table immediately when all air traffic stops in this country.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
but that'll piss me off because I stand firm with the people's health care.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I'm going to pull somebody else up here because I'm going to try to get as many people on here as I can. This woman is named Kathy. If she comes up, looks like it's taking a little bit of time. Maybe she won't here. Yeah, it looks like we're not getting that. We do have British John. I'll get to you, British John. I like to take you at the end there. You know why. All right. All right, we got somebody else coming up here. Smiley Lock Amy. Hey, Smiley, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey there. I've been listening to you for maybe 3 or 4 years now, and I never
Since you were a child.
Yeah, I'm 55 now. I've been listening to you for the last 3 or 4 years, and I've come to understand politics in a way that I've never understood it before. You bring up point by point by point on what's going on, and it's true, every word. And it
Well, I
just had
try.
me look back to, I don't know if you remember Schoolhouse Rock.
I do.
Yes,
Oh,
73. And it just reminded me of all the things that they were teaching children at that age that were a melting pot. We had our independence, you know? And it just reminds me of today where children aren't learning the correct history of our United States. We are made
Yeah.
from people that come over from different countries and different religions and backgrounds and history, that the people now, they just don't care. They just don't
Yeah.
care.
Well, I'm as old, big, dumb white guy as you can possibly be. I'm a baby boomer, but my ancestors, not that far off, came from Norway and Sweden and Germany and such. We're all products of immigrants at one point or another. And the idea that we say, okay, we're immigrants, but we're shutting the door. No more immigrants. It's just bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's a dog whistle for these Republicans to put fear into the hearts of dumbasses. And unfortunately, we have a country replete with fucking dumbasses.
It's true. It's true. So I just want to go
Well,
ahead.
what you were saying too, Smiley, about doing the reports and stuff. You're exactly right about Schoolhouse Rock. It took terms and made them simple, and I guess inadvertently I'm doing the same thing. Everything in politics is really confusing, and then the media makes it more confusing. So people hear things and they don't really know what it means. So that's why I try to break it down. I'm actually breaking it down so I can understand it, and then if you folks get some benefit out of it, perfect. We all need to know more shit.
We do. We do. Thank you for having me on your show. I look forward to seeing you. I watch your videos every 10 days. I get them lined up, and then I watch one right after another. So it really sinks into what's going on.
You take 10 days. I mean, TikToks, I can do 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. You'll
Correct.
line up all 10 days and watch all of them in one fell swoop.
Yep, I binge watch you. Just
Wow.
so that I know what's going on.
It's almost like we're dating now, Smiley.
Well, thank you for your information, being out there, and you guys have done a wonderful job. You go. You rock.
I appreciate it, Smiley. Thank you very much for coming on. I've never heard anybody do that before.
I don't know. I was waiting for an iron skillet to come into view from your wife, Mike.
No. She's sleeping.
Dating these hot chicks on the podcast.
Well, no, I've never heard of anybody. I know I binge watch shows, but binge watching me? Wow. I mean, too much of a bad thing is a bad thing.
Well, hold on. I went on vacation. Rebecca and I went on vacation one time, and I missed days and days of the podcast. So we were on the beach, and I still had, I think we're at the pool, actually, not at the beach. But they had Wi-Fi there, so I could listen to the 8 hours of podcast that I missed in the time that I was traveling. So I just,
better start dating.
So you're on vacation. You listen to the podcast for 8 hours. How romantic. I'm sorry for you, Rebecca. I apologize.
That's okay. I was listening along with them. You went as long as there's a bar there. It's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all that mattered.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who else is out there, and we'll pull them up. Let's do this person. Erin Collins is coming up. We'll see what she has to say. British John, just hold on. We'll get to you. Erin Collins, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I don't understand a lot about politics, but with everything that's going on, I'm trying to understand more. I'm trying to educate myself.
Well,
And
good
I'm
for you.
also asking those who are close to me about some things. So a friend of mine told me today that the reason that Trump doesn't want the filibuster to go away is because not only would he be impeached, but he'd be in jail. Would you guys say that that's accurate information I'm receiving?
No, it's not. He does want the filibuster to go away because he wants this continuing resolution to pass, and the only way he thinks he can do that is the getting rid of the filibuster. The Republicans don't want the filibuster to go away because they know the Democrats will capitalize on it when they get power. That will have no bearing on the impeachment. When assuming the Democrats get control of the House, they will more than likely impeach him. Now, the Senate might be a different deal because in order to impeach him, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to get like 67 people to vote to convict him of the impeachment to kick him out. So unless the Democrats get 67 seats in the Senate, it's going to be tough anyway, unless the Republicans change their mind. So he does want the filibuster gone. That's stupid. He's about immediate gratification. Republicans don't. I don't think they're going to get rid of the filibuster, but it has no bearing. if the Democrats get power, he's getting fucking impeached.
Right. You need 2/3 of the Senate to do that.
Yes, 2/3.
Thank
That'd
you
be
for
67.
clarifying that for me. I appreciate it.
No problem, Aaron. We're happy to do it. I'm glad you're taking the time to listen. I can't get my kids to listen to me, but Aaron Collins is out there fucking listening and Smiley. So thank you very
Well,
much.
and I'm a truck driver, so I enjoy listening on my downtime.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for joining us and pop in anytime. We're happy to hear from you.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, can I give TJ some kudos before you pull up British John? This way he'll
No.
feel good about himself.
No.
Why start? Hey, trucker, why start now?
Yeah.
TJ sells himself short, right? He says, I'm the president of this or I'm union that. TJ sent me a picture and a video of him with the governor of Pennsylvania. So he's more than just that. TJ is somebody to listen to. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he's
Just a
bigger than
regular
he
day.
says he is. Yeah, a regular day for him. Right.
Yeah.
Well, TJ's kind of friendly with the governor, as far as I understood. And you've had, didn't you get a picture with Biden too, or at least Kamala?
He's
Biden,
got pictures
Kamala,
with a lot of
Tim
cool
Walz.
Tim Walz, yeah. all
Tim
of them.
Walls.
people. Yeah.
There's
Tish,
I got
Tish
I
James.
don't Letitia James. I got
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people. Hey,
Well, I just
you
want
know,
to give you your kudos, TJ, because I appreciate that.
well, that's very nice of you, trucker. I appreciate it. I don't really view myself as someone that's unique or special. You know, I just do my
Oh, you're special.
I do my job. Shut the fuck up. I
Yeah,
do
you're
my
special,
job.
all right. Especially when you called me a bitch.
I was just fucking with you. But
I
you
know.
I just do my job, and my job is to look out for regular working ass people.
That's right.
That's my job, and I go out and I stick up for them and I fight and defend for them every single day.
You should
And
listen to his band.
That too. So that's what I do, and like I don't really want to be recognized about it or like any of that. I just do what I need to do to make people's lives better.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate
that's-
you, TJ.
That's my life's work, is to make people in my area and all, not just my area, but sometimes that expands to the state, sometimes that expands to the entire United States. So I just do what I do to help working people and make life better for everybody. And I don't, have a chip on my shoulder about it. I just do what I need to do to make things better. So that's my thing.
I just need to do a quick fact check here because, as luck would have it, we have TJ the plumber's wife with us. Does TJ actually make people's lives better, Rebecca?
Except mine.
Yeah, except Liam's. Yeah, he does. He's speaking the truth. I mean, every day he's got new stories about this guy or that guy he had to help, and
I'm talking about you particularly. I mean, he takes you on a nice vacation. You sit by the pool and you listen to 8 hours of a dumb fuck talking shit.
we listen to you every day anyway. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, she encourages that shit.
yeah,
Don't
He talks a lot of shit and he gives me a lot of shit, but he has no idea how proud I am of him. You know that, bro? I'm very proud of you and your heart.
Well, I'm getting a little weepy here, so let's
it's time to bring on British John.
Let's change the tone. Yeah, let's change the tone. British John, you're back. Your camera's on, and you have a shirt on this time. Thank you.
How about pants?
No pants.
I'm wearing pants.
Well, good for you.
What's
up?
I'm feeling spiritual. I'm feeling spiritual.
Really?
Spiritual?
Yeah. Jay's mom says she's a spiritual healer, which is true. Every man that's ever been with her leaves saying, "Dear God, I need to heal."
Well, Jay's not even here.
Doesn't need to be. If I don't start with a Jay's mom joke, I get complaints.
Okay, now hit us with something good. Something
I got something
insightful.
different. I got something different for you tonight. So,
Okay.
Mike, I see other TikTokers. You're not my only one. Okay, I'm sorry if this is finding this
No,
out.
I,
But
I, I get it. That's fine.
most mornings I do a segment on the Josh Lafsan show, a guy out of New York,
Okay.
and I do a 2.5 minute rant. I pick two things that have happened in the Trump administration over the past 24 hours, and I put together a thing. We always focus on MJ. You know, I'm looking forward to the Ashes. If I could, I have only one desire right now, and that is to be in Melbourne for the Test cricket, for the Boxing Day Test. But sadly, I married an American. She's fantastic in every regard, except she doesn't love the cricket. But amazing ass. I mean, I'll get over it.
Yeah, you'll get over it.
There's pictures of her probably around my head if you were being really dark. And then, and I focus on the fact that every day is 200 and X is how many days since we haven't seen the Epstein files. Now, I usually write them at night because I work during the day. I don't have time to do them. So I thought if I might, I'd share what I do with his audience, with your audience tonight, if I might borrow 2.5 minutes.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Republicans have found a new slogan for America: thin the herd. Michael Wolff's latest interview in the Yale Review says the Epstein files exist, hundreds of gigabytes, including photos of Donald Trump himself. Pam Bondi warned him. He called it boring old news, and while the president sues newspapers for profit, his allies are quietly perfecting a different kind of cruelty. J.D. Vance has announced that SNAP benefits will not be renewed, boys and girls. This happened about 2.5 hours ago. The LEAF, Low Income Energy Fund, has been cancelled, so the hungry will freeze and the cold will starve. This isn't fiscal discipline. This is eugenics with spreadsheets. Lindsey Graham, always the accidental truth teller, said the quiet part out loud: we're cutting taxes and killing people. You see, the assumption was it was foreigners, but it turns out JD had other plans. This is the new Republican political strategy: starve the base, blame the bureaucracy, then campaign as the savior of the chaos you engineered. It's governance by hostage-taking. They create the fire, then they sell you the water. It's rather like setting fire to your own pub and then charging admission for the smoke. But make no mistake, this is the year they thin the herd, not with bullets, but with bills, not with prisons, but with policies. They've weaponized hunger, monetized despair, and turned cruelty into currency. And through it all, Trump, the ringmaster of decay, pretending the Epstein scandal is boring old news, while his administration burns empathy for fuel. And I thought I would reflect on the Republicans' approach to the election a few days ago with poetry.
Yeah.
A little bit of Tennyson, if you will.
Boy, nothing brings in the crowd like classic poetry. Go ahead.
Or cricket.
Fire to the
Or
left
cricket.
of them, fire to the left of them, fire to the right of them. Into the valley of delusion rode the 118. Armed with cruelty and dishonesty, giving handjobs on demand to billionaires, they thundered bravely into the polling abyss. Mike, we are talking about this because it's day 291 of the Trump second administration. We are talking about this because we have still not seen the Epstein files. We still don't know whether Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were united by politics or by profit, or simply by their shared love of fruit. The world is still curious, Mike. How much they pay for the cherries of those young women they swore they'd never noticed.
Now we know why he's last. So, what do you think is going to happen here, though? I mean, there's a lot of things coming to a head. The shutdown, the Epstein files. How do you see it going forward? This can't stay in this state of flux forever.
So, almost just 11 months ago. So it's kind of amusing that this is happening now. So last September, I was in Vegas. I was actually in Henderson, to the south of Vegas, for a very special thing. Myself and about 200 members of various government agencies, think tanks, were war planning or war gaming, tabletop exercise, potential issues if the election was thrown into chaos and not considered valid, and how our adversaries would use that against us. You know, what would the Russians do against cyber infrastructure and those kind of things.
Right.
200 of the smartest people in the country, and they let me in to watch. And it was interesting because here we are. It happened to be when I was also there for a comedy festival, and next week I'm going to the same comedy festival, but it's in New Orleans. I have tabletopped this. I love thought experiments. It's one of my hobbies. It is impossible to imagine what's going to happen next, but it will. When we saw him today gawping, I think you said it with the thumb up his ass as that person,
Yeah.
he wasn't present.
No, he wasn't. He seemed someplace else.
And if you've got my father-in-law, I'm so sorry, he has advanced dementia and Alzheimer's. There comes a point where it doesn't matter what it is anymore.
Yeah.
And it is, and he's there because if he's doing the thing he always does, he's fine. And my father-in-law, Jerry, was the same. If he was in his routine, he was fine. He could do that. It was a performance. It was done by rote. Okay, he would drive my kid to school, go to swimming, go to his luncheon, come home. But if he got stuck at the wrong traffic light, he'd end up in Napa. Yes, that's actually a thing that happened.
Wow.
And today we saw Trump go to Napa while they were performing CPR on somebody because there wasn't any programming to absorb this thing happening. If you put him at a podium and pull the cord, he'll speak because it's what he's always done. Those pieces of the synapse are on autopilot. The question is what happens next, because, you know, is JD Vance gonna pull the 25th? I'd like to think he doesn't have the balls. And even if he does, we know the cabinet doesn't. And he's filled the cabinet not with politicians, but with lackeys who know the first thing. JD Vance is going to want to unify the Republicans, by that MAGA and the actual Republicans. And to do that, he's going to need competence in the cabinet. And they know if they bring JD in, they're all then going to lose their federal coverage, and by that I mean legal coverage. You know, right now they're protected, but at that point they won't be. So it's very interesting. And I think the fact that we've had, I don't know why this didn't get a lot of news today. Do you know there's been over 1 million layoffs of people making more than 50 grand this year? Today it passed through 1 million. Another 40, you know, we had the 40-odd thousand from UPS. We had, you know, all these thousands of people. And yet we're pretending that the economy is absolutely fine. You know, this is, you have to wonder how bad does it get? Are you okay? This is more than the water. Do you need a Zycam or a Werther's Original, Mike?
Well, I put it this way. I got a cold from my granddaughter. I'm getting over the cold now. My wife got it. I got it. Then I'm supposed to go babysit my grandson, but I can't babysit my grandson because I got a cold, which I got from his sister who lives in the same house as my grandson. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm getting over the cold and my throat gets dry and I don't have the stamina I once did when I was a young broadcaster. So I'm just kind of, that's why I like having you on, British. I don't have to fucking do anything. I just sit here and listen.
Remember that wanker that said you slurp water too much on your shows?
Yeah, and I'll just remind him and everybody else, anybody who doesn't like anything I do on my show, and I get those people from time to time, I'll just say what I've said from the beginning. My fucking show, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. That's just the way it's going to be. You can choose to listen or not listen. I'm curious, though. I'm curious what you think about. Go ahead, British John.
we are going into such a time of instability. The fact that the airline, they're going to cut 10% of flights. Okay, so for those of you that have never traveled during the holiday period, this is going to be hell. We are about to have, TJ, you'll remember, most of you will remember this. We're about to see the real life version of planes, trains, and automobiles. But it's not going to be one family, it's going to be tens of thousands.
Yeah.
The airlines are already pretty much flying at capacity to maximize their profits. You take 10% of the flights out of that equation, that's around 200, the minimum of 200 of 200 seats. That's 200 people who are in the wrong place. It's a plane that's in the wrong place, positioning, crews, all those kind of things. The airlines are going to love it because the airlines know there's going to be an economic crash. And remember, travel always it's the first expense line you cut. And I know that because the company I work for, we've canceled all non-essential travel because we'd rather not spend that money and use it for something else or just not spend it. And it's going to be hell. And they're trying to blame the Democrats, and they can't because. Let me just say, the Democrats have been god-awful, as usual, at communication. Why the F is Chuck Schumer not on Colbert, on Kimmel, on absolutely... Why is he not on The View explaining that the Republicans can open the government with 51 votes in 30 seconds? Why the hell... There has to be something... What box have they put Pete Buttigieg in? Normally, when you need to explain something complicated, and I'm sorry, but this is maths, and that's not really an American specialty. Why is Pete not out right now?
That's a good question.
They've got Margie doing it for them.
Well, Marjorie's the problem with Marjorie is she's just. It's ironic that she's suddenly the good one when she still looks like she moisturizes with vape juice. Just saying.
Hot dog water.
Yeah, I mean that is yeah.
Well, British John. So AOC came out, I think it was like 2 days ago, and she gave the backstory to why Marjorie is out now. Marjorie wanted to run for governor, I think it was Kentucky, and they told her no. Or Georgia, whatever it was. They told her no. And that pissed her off. So when they told her no, she couldn't do it, she had to stay where she was, she flipped the switch, and this is where she is. And then last I heard, I think it was yesterday, it may be just a rumor, but now she wants to run for president. What the fuck?
Well, and I can see her running for president, and it's this ridiculous American thing. By the way, we do it as well back home. You always have a northerner and a southerner. Here you have to have somebody to help balance the ticket to make the coalition, which is why we got J.D. Vance because he was from California and Kentucky somehow. To counter the city guy. Is why we had to have. And I'm sorry, boys and girls, Kamala is a fantastic candidate, but actually, I really like the potential vice president. I just felt he was just a human being with competency. I know, I'm old-fashioned. I didn't care what color he was. I like the fact that he could change a car battery. I'm like, okay, if
absolutely,
if you know how to change a thermocoupler in a fan in the cold, you're my guy because we've got something we can talk about. Because it's about the approach. It's not what you do. It's your approach to it that makes the huge difference. And pragmatic is a good thing. I don't know where we go. I love TikTok because every time I say, I often get into it with the right on TikTok lives. I'm not somebody who crashes out. And I practice stoicism in many forms, and I just love watching them crash out, trying to crash me out. I'm like, you can't take my life away from me. Keep going, keep going. As soon as I say I'm from California, they launch into California. I want everybody to know the shit on the street is real. It's bad out here, boys and girls. It's like a homeless encampment everywhere you go. I want you to know that because I don't want anyone fucking coming and ruining it.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. And
Yeah.
the last thing I want is you guys coming over here as refugees, okay? Because right now we're looking at the Sierras as like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. We don't need to build a wall. We'll just shut Highway 80.
John, I just
Yeah,
need to
that's
make
right.
it to I just need to make it to LA on Christmas Day. I'm planning on leaving for Australia that day, and I just need to make it to LA.
You see,
I'll
this
let
is
you.
going to be
I'll
the
let
thing.
you.
They're
I'll
going to
let you know
shut
how it goes.
the fact that they're shutting all of these, the fact that they're doing this. I mean, everybody knows that America lacks critical infrastructure. We do not invest in infrastructure. If you've been to Newark, it's just not something we're good at.
We
Um,
did, but it got canceled by Donald Trump.
I don't
Yeah, no
disagree,
shit.
but I don't disagree, TJ. You're absolutely right. But I also say when we do it badly. They're spending $2.5 billion refitting, not expanding, refitting Terminal 3 at SFO, the United Terminal. How the hell can you blow $2.5 billion with a B, refitting, and not expand capacity? Like I just, I mean, technically, when we remodeled, we didn't expand the size of the house, but that's because if we expanded it by more than 24 square feet, I would have had to have spent $60,000 on a sprinkler system and huge water tanks because I live in the hills and fire in California.
Right.
But which is why my elliptical's out in the yard. But it's just. I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I don't know the direction in this country, but what I do know, me and my family are staying here in the Bay Area because whether we like it or not, we have a lot of smart people here, and I would rather have to rely on smart people than a guy from Virginia with his weaponry collection. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I know that sadly, boys and girls, brains will always win. It's going to be interesting. I know I shouldn't watch these TikToks where there's a guy who's a specialist in PT and the elderly, and he keeps highlighting the fact that you can see stuff stuck into Trump's suit and his trouser leg, like when he got off the plane in Asia.
Right.
Apparently,
Right.
he had a leg catheter bag. That was incredibly, like, if you got the right freeze frame, you could see it. Apparently, he's got he's wearing a holster-based heart stabilizer from his stroke he had over the Labor Day weekend. And I don't want to believe it, but I don't not believe it because the characteristics he has are the same as my father-in-law, and he doesn't know his name.
Did you see how slurry and droopy he was while he was ranting about Nigeria the other day?
When are we going to go to war with Nigeria and Venezuela? That's
And
what I'm
why,
waiting
yeah.
for. I mean,
British
so go on.
John. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I know you've seen this. I just want to make sure you've seen it. Have you seen the video of the Marine pushing, how can I put this, his buttocks into Marine One?
No, I have not seen that.
I have not. That is.
I haven't seen it, but I'm just laughing because
It's out there.
Visuals enough for me, thank you.
TJ's seen it.
It's hilarious.
That man should get a Medal of Valor.
That I'm not being funny. Do they give him a Purple Heart on takeoff or what? I mean, that
purple
is-
gas mask.
Oh, Jesus
You know what I-
Christ!
Mike,
Hey,
he didn't
20
want to
years-
do it. He didn't want to do it.
20,
Listen,
20
I
years
wonder,
from now, we won't. 20 years from now, we won't be talking about burn pits. We'll be talking about the military that had to stand behind Donald Trump and the shit they're going through now.
Hey, trucker. I wonder. You know how Marines have to wear those white gloves? I bet that motherfucker had to change them after that fucking.
I'm not being funny, TJ. There isn't enough Purell in this lifetime.
No.
If you looked at his face, okay, so it was a two attempt. The first attempt was kind of like a slight little nudge, and then the slight nudge didn't work. So it went to a full-on push, and all you saw was ass just in his face. It was nasty.
Google this shit.
I was this isn't my joke, and it's not even a finished joke yet. Buddy of mine was we were talking last night in the back of the club. I was doing roast battle down in Sunnyvale, and we were talking, and we were talking about Trump's health, and he was trying to make a bit out of it. It's not a very good bit. It went along the lines of, I want to be respectful. I hope they don't bury him in Arlington, because I don't want to use a public restroom in Arlington.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm
that
just
needs some
saying,
work.
I'm like that. It
Needs a little work, but
it needs the twist is there.
yes, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
But okay.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I know you're getting ready to wind things down, but I wanted to mention that I still stand by my opinion that he saw his last Christmas in 2024. Now, Ed down in Tennessee is being very optimistic because he's saying the Thanksgiving holiday. But
He's on tomorrow, so I'll get an update of what he thinks now.
But in closing, I just wanted to say, because I don't think I've ever said it here, I want to say my prayer. St. Ronald of McDonald, patron saint of cholesterol, please, please, please have mercy on our souls and take Donnie to that great friar down below. In the name of
Absolutely.
Hamburglar, Grimace, and Mayor McCheese. Amen.
Oh my God.
Big Mac, do your job.
Trucker T,
Anyway,
remember what I said, December.
I got you, brother.
Yeah, you remember that. Now, Ed's being, I hope Ed's right. Like, I hope Ed is 100% spot on.
Hey, we were two people close today. It happened 2 people over from him, but we were close.
No. And Mike,
Here-
I wanted to.
yeah.
I'm with you on how I want it to happen. I want it to be like
Yeah.
on like Fox and Friends,
Public.
where he's on their couch, and then he just drops off the couch in his own vomit and shit and piss, and on live television.
I think so too. We might have come up with a new game. You have fantasy football, fantasy baseball. maybe we'll have fantasy fatality. That would be good. Would be
do
good.
it.
I'm going to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mike. So a while ago, I tried a TikTok series that didn't work out. With and it wasn't British John, it was Father John, and this was when RFK was putting together his plans to change medication. And actually, on that, before I get to the prayer, because I wrote this prayer, and I was like, I never use it, but this is the perfect time. Let me just say, if you are on the right and you feel one way about vaccines, first of all, I respect that. But I want to tell you what they're not telling you. I got my C19 jab the other day, and let me tell you right now, my erections are 60% stronger than they were before.
Whoa, what's this?
Wow.
This
Hey,
is
And,
My
and you know
daughter
what?
is listening.
this
And
is
you know
why
what? It was Father John and Altar Boy Jay. Just so you guys know.
Altar boy.
So this is.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, they don't want you to know because they don't want you to enjoy the kind of freedom I'm enjoying. So this is my public service piece. So here's your prayer, and then I'll disappear. Oh Lord, if you exist, and if you don't, I quite understand. Deliver us not unto Donald, but from him. Deliver us from the orange glow of deceit, from the gospel of grievance, from the disciples of ignorance who think the Sermon on the Mount was a Mar-a-Lago lunch break. Forgive him not his trespass, for they are committed on purpose, and invoice it cost plus 10%. May his golf balls forever find the bunker, his spray tan forever streak in the rain, and may every mirror he faces show him the truth of his soul, and charge him double for the reflection. We do not pray for his end, Lord, only that his lie runs out before the oxygen does. Amen.
Amen.
And may the rest of us
Wow.
get some sleep at last.
I'm going to wrap things up. Ironically, I may be the only one in this group that's actually ordained because I performed my son's wedding. But I'm going to leave it at that. I don't have a prayer to wrap this thing up. I'll keep my prayers to myself because they can be a little fucked up after a while. So
Hey, Mike.
thank you, TJ. Yeah.
I hope you feel better. And Susie in Australia, if you're listening, I hope you feel better too, both of you.
Mike, very seriously, if you're not following Will Westmoreland at the and the Back 40 Super PAC, please do. They're going to be doing a fantastic. There's going to be a rally in DC on the Mall on the 22nd of November. They're expecting 20 to 30,000 people. Will's going to be there, and I just got news. They've got this guy. I've never heard of him before, who's going to open the protest on the stage at the Mall. I can't believe it. He's British of all things, and they're going to give him 20,000 people to talk to about his experience.
Here is British John.
Yeah. So
British John.
Hey,
So check him out.
that's where Howard's going, right?
Mike's gonna get in
Howard. Yeah,
trouble.
Howard.
Howard's
Howard's
20,000
going.
people. One of them will be called Howard. There's always one Howard.
Yeah.
Howard,
Howard is going to that.
Howard Paulson. Howard Paulson.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show in the coming days too. So we'll talk to him about that. TJ, Rebecca, Trucker T, Liam, British John, Oliver's mom, all of the other people that joined me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys make the show worth listening to. So for those of you listening, I hope you have a great night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Have a good night.